Well, one of Egypt's top opposition leaders takes issue with Hillary Clinton's remark that the Egyptian government is stable. I talked earlier with Mohammed El-Baradei, a former head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, who is now at the forefront of a push for political change in his country.
I was stunned to hear, Secretary Clinton saying that the Egyptian government is stable, and I asked myself, at what price is stability? Is it on the basis of 29 years of martial law? Is it on the basis of 30 years of ossified regime? Is it on the basis of rigged election? That's not stability. That is living on a borrowed time. Stability is when you have a government that is elected on a free and fair basis, and we have seen, how election has been rigged in Egypt. We have seen how people have been tortured, and when you see today almost over 100,000 young people getting desperate, going to the street, asking for their basic freedoms, I expected to hear from Secretary Clinton stuff like, democracy, human rights, basic freedoms, all the stuff the UN is standing for.
I want to just show our viewers a tweet from you from a couple of days ago, and I quote, "Threats of violence against participants in peaceful demonstrations reveal the ugly face of a regime terrified of its own people." Mohammed, you've been encouraging people to take to the streets. Why?
Because I've been, Becky, trying for a year to engage the regime through peaceful means by collecting signature on demands for free and fair election, for opening the door for Egyptians to run for presidency, for having parliament that representative of the people. When you have a parliament right now that have opposition of 3%, you are really insulting the intelligence of the people by trying to say this is a democratic system.
I wonder whether it's responsible to encourage people to take to the streets in protest that could turn deadly, and also wonder why you haven't, Mohammed, taken part.
Well, I didn't ask for people to take to the street, Becky. This was completely initiated by the young people. I haven't taken part because we have to have division of labor. I can't get access to the media while I'm in Egypt. I'm completely blocked from getting access to the media, and I think it's important for me to continue to speak about the plight of the Egyptian people, and unfortunately I have to get out of Egypt to be able to speak about the plight of the Egyptians.
Mohammed, let me bring up a Facebook site here, El-Baradei for Presidency of Egypt. There are more than 200,000 Facebook fans there, which begs the question, will you run for president?
Becky, the priority for me is to shift Egypt into a democracy, is to catch up with the 21st century, to get Egypt to be a modern and moderate society, and respecting human rights, respecting the basic freedom of the people. Whether I run or not, that is totally irrelevant, and I made it very clear I will not run under the present condition when the deck is stacked completely.
Mohammed, was the Jasmine revolution that we've seen in Tunisia just the start of things to come in the region?
It sent a message everywhere to the Arab world, Becky, that, to quote Barack Obama, yes, we can. That it is doable. Then that we can be empowered as people to change a system that is ossified, that is completely repressive of our own basic rights.
Do you fear for your own safety at this point?
Well, that's a good question. There was an edict against me, a couple of weeks ago, basically saying that my life should be dispensable because I'm defying the ruler. So I have no security when I go to Egypt. I'm going to Egypt in the next few days, and this is a good question, Becky. But you have to be with your people.
Mohammed El-Baradei speaking to me earlier from Vienna.